Beloved seed star of Gaia, I am Ayla, emissary of the Arcturian healing fleets, and I bring you today an urgent transmission, a message that was encoded in the stars and sent directly to your energy field at this exact moment of space and time. You did not click on this video by accident. Your higher self, your ancient and weary soul, guided your fingers here because you have reached a limit. The stellar healers have been observing your light, my dear sister. We have seen how your brightness has weakened, not because you lost your power, but because you have been leaking your sacred vital energy to places, situations, and people who do not have the capacity to contain your magnitude. Today, we need to talk about the illusion of availability. We need to talk about this lie that the Earth's matrix told you since you were a little girl. The lie that whispered in your ear that, to be loved, you need to be useful. That, to be chosen, you need to always be there, always ready, always willing to sacrifice your own boundaries in the name of a love that leaves you constantly hungry. Breathe deeply with me now. Feel the truth of these words penetrating your chest. How many times, beloved seed, have you looked at your phone screen waiting for a message that took hours or days to arrive? And yet, the second that message arrived, you responded almost instantaneously. How many times have you rearranged your entire life, canceled your plans, silenced your own desires, just to fit into the crumbs of time that someone decided to offer you? You thought that this was proving your love. You believed, through the dense conditioning of this planet, that true love demands this level of self-sacrifice. You thought, if I show how good I am, if I show how loyal and patient I am, eventually he will see my value. Eventually, he will choose me the way I choose him. But the high Arcturian wisdom asks me to reveal a different truth to you today, a truth that will free your soul. Whenever you are unconditionally available to someone who offers you conditions, you are not demonstrating love. You are demonstrating abandonment. Your own abandonment. You are sending a direct frequency to the universe and to that person's soul, saying, my time has no value. My energy is not sacred. My presence is cheap and guaranteed. And the laws of universal magnetism are very clear. Energy flows to where there is space, and it recedes from where there is excess. When you push your energy incessantly in someone's direction, always sending the first message, always solving problems, always being the facilitator, always available, you create a force field of resistance. You suffocate the connection. You leave no empty space for the other person to miss you, to invest, to take a step in your direction. We see your exhaustion, sister. We see the sleepless nights. We see you trying to analyze every word spoken, trying to understand what you did wrong for the person to suddenly become cold, distant. But you did nothing wrong in your essence. You simply forgot who you are. You forgot that you carry the frequency of stellar royalty. Your constant availability is, in fact, a shield created by your fear, the deep and rooted fear of being abandoned. The fear that, if you are not the glue that holds everything together, the connection will crumble. But listen to me with careful attention now. Any connection that requires you to be in a constant state of anxiety to survive is not a connection aligned with your soul's mission. It is a karmic lesson, and you are ready to graduate from that lesson. What happens when a seed star stops being available? What happens when you make the radical and frightening decision to withdraw your energy back to your own center? The cosmic miracle begins. The moment you stop focusing your energy on them, a quantum vacuum is created in the electromagnetic field between you two. That person who was used to feeding on your constant light, your constant validation, suddenly feels the chill of your absence. They don't understand it logically, but their soul feels it. The frequency changes. But this is not a three-dimensional manipulation game. It is not ignoring someone on purpose just to hurt their ego. That is the fundamental difference. Withdrawing your energy is an act of profound devotion to yourself. It is you finally saying to the universe, I am sacred enough to demand a love that meets me halfway. When you stop being available for the minimum, the energy of love does not disappear. It turns inward. It begins to resonate abundantly within you. And this internal resonance is the master key that absolutely changes everything around you. Your aura changes color. Your electromagnetic field stops transmitting the frequency of scarcity and lack, and begins to transmit the frequency of mystery, value, and irresistible magnetism. If you feel this truth resonating in your chest, if you know you have been that woman who gives much and receives little, please take action. Use this as an energetic seal for the universe that you are listening. We are creating a collective healing vortex. See your sisters by your side. You are not alone in this pain. We are here, together, reprogramming this pattern. I feel your breathing changing, beloved seed. I feel relief beginning to wash your aura just by recognizing this truth. You do not have to try so hard. You do not have to hold another person's world, and much less their heart with your own hands, afraid that it will fall. At this very moment, I want you to visualize an invisible rope of energy connecting your heart center to the heart of that person who has occupied your mind. For a long time, you have been pulling this rope. You have tried to keep it stretched, vibrant, sending love, understanding, support, and above all, your inexhaustible availability. But what happens when only one side pulls the rope? The other side settles. They release their own weight, because they know you are there to sustain the connection for both of you. This is not a sacred partnership, sister. This is a parasitic drain consented to by you, due to old traumas that still whisper that you need to earn love. But the higher Arcturian councils are decreeing the end of this cycle in your timeline. Today. Now. When you suddenly release your end of the rope, not with anger, not with three-dimensional resentment, but with the sovereign calm of a stellar queen who knows her own value, the other person loses their balance. Energetically, they stumble. That constant source of warmth and light they became accustomed to turning to whenever they felt bored, empty, or needed an ego injection. Suddenly, it is no longer there. You stopped responding in 3 seconds. You stopped laughing at jokes that are not funny just to please. You stopped asking how their day went when they do not even remember to ask how you are feeling. You stopped being the free emotional therapist, the substitute mother, the unconditional safe harbor for someone who treats you as a convenience option. And this is where the true alchemy of love happens. The vacuum created by your lack of availability is the only space where respect and genuine desire can grow. Energy does not support emptiness. When you withdraw your sacred energy, it returns to your own body, filling your own cells, illuminating your own skin. You become a contained sun, brilliant, magnetic, and mysterious. They begin to wonder, where did she go? Why did her frequency change? Did she realize she deserves more? Did I lose her? And it is only in this space of uncertainty, provoked by your majestic absence, that the other person's soul is forced to awaken from its state of complacency. They are forced to move in your direction, or else to leave your life to make room for those who truly know how to honor your light. But I know, beloved, that this process of withdrawal requires extraordinary strength. I know that the emotional addiction of the Matrix will pull you back, trying to convince you to send that message, to check social media, to give in one more time. It is precisely for this reason that the Confederation did not send me with just words, but with a living tool of anchoring and healing for your journey, so that you do not return to old patterns of begging for affection, so that you strengthen your force field and attract the sacred connection that was promised to you before you incarnated on Earth. I bring a vital gift. Pay attention, because this is your divine sign. This material is not just a book, it is an activation code. It was created specifically for seed stars like you, who urgently need to heal the wound of rejection and reprogram your vibrational signature for abundant love, the kind that does not require you to diminish yourself to fit. When you activate your heart with this stellar wisdom, the need to always be available disappears, replaced by unshakable peace that what is truly yours cannot miss your address. Continuing our transmission. Understand that the pain of not being available is temporary, but the pain of being undervalued is a prolonged scar. When you stop saying yes to what exhausts you, you automatically say a powerful yes to the universe. You begin to emit a very high-frequency radio signal that says, "I am ready for reciprocity. I no longer accept low-vibration exchanges." And you know what the universe does when an Arcturian woman remembers her own power? It bends. It orchestrates synchronicities. It sends the right healers, the right opportunities, and at the exact divine moment, the right partner. Or it transforms the dynamics of your current partner. Because now you have become a prize, no longer a convenience. You have become a cosmic enigma, not an open book that anyone can read and then discard. Do you feel this paradigm shift pulsing in your veins now? This is your heritage, sister. Magnetism through relentless self-love. Feel the energy we just moved in your field, my beloved sister. We broke the first seal of your energetic dependency. But now, the Arcturian healing councils need to prepare you for what happens immediately after you withdraw your energy. Because Earth's three-dimensional matrix has rigid defense mechanisms, and the soul of the person you disconnected will not simply accept the loss of your light supply without attempting retaliation or testing. We call this phenomenon the echo of the old frequency. On Earth, in your everyday vocabulary, you often call this receiving crumbs, or tests from the universe. Listen carefully. When you spend months, or perhaps years, pouring your golden energy into someone's aura, someone who was not ready or willing to receive it and honor it in its totality, you create an invisible etheric feeding tube. You nourish them. And when you cut off that nutrition by choosing yourself unwaveringly, they feel a sudden spiritual hunger. They feel the chill of your absence. But what will they initially do? They will not, in the vast majority of cases, show up the next day offering the pure, mature, deep love you deserve. Their wounded ego will attempt a safety maneuver. They will throw a small bait into the darkened water. They will send that casual message, perhaps a, "Hey, I remembered you," weeks later. They will like one of your photos on social media furtively. They will make a vague comment, send a meme, do any small movement, just enough to see if the portal of your availability is still open to them. They want to test your limits. They want to know, deep down, is she still there, sitting on the shelf, waiting for me in case I decide I want her? Seed star, listen to my voice resonating in the absolute center of your being now. This is a karmic trap. If you respond to these crumbs with the same overflowing emotion as before, if you deliver them a feast of attention and availability when they offered you only a drop of effort and confusion, you will immediately reactivate the scarcity contract. You will be telling the universe, "I pretended I knew my value, but at the first handout, I gave up my own royalty." It is precisely here that the true test of your awakening happens. When the crumb arrives, and it will arrive, because your drastic change in vibration causes shockwaves in the ether, you must remain anchored in your position as stellar queen. You look at the crumb, you recognize it, but you do not consume it. You let sovereign silence be your answer, the silence of a woman who is definitely no longer hungry. Understand the profound manipulation and healing love that the universe is orchestrating in your favor at this moment. The divine is not trying to punish you with silence, with loneliness, or with physical distance. It is, in fact, forcing you to go through the detoxification process. There will be nights, my beloved, when your physical and emotional body will ache with the desire to reach out to them. There will be moments when your anxious mind, conditioned by countless lives of abandonment and rejection, will scream that if you do not do something, if you are not the bridge, you will lose them forever. But I, Ayla, was sent here to whisper directly to your soul. You cannot lose what is divinely yours, and you must never attempt to retain what needs to leave, so that true love can, finally, land in your reality. This painful and uncomfortable space you find yourself in now. This vacuum where you are no longer running after them. But the new abundant reality has not yet manifested fully in your physical form. We, in the higher dimensions, call this the sacred void. It is in the void that stars and galaxies are formed. It is in the void that the universe recalibrates your cosmic destiny. When you stop filling the deafening silence with your own desperation and anxiety, you allow the universe to fill it with real answers, real actions, and clarity. While you were desperately trying to be the perfect woman, the understanding and infinitely patient partner, you blocked your own vision of who that person was really choosing to be. When you retreat to the void, the three-dimensional masks fall. You begin to see situations and people with your soul's ancient eyes, not with the clouded eyes of trauma and attachment. And what you frequently discover in that void is profoundly revealing. You did not actually miss the reality of them. You missed the illusion of what they could be if they had the same capacity and depth to love that you have. You were falling in love with the potential of their healing, not the three-dimensional reality they offered you. You were pouring oceans of your purest love into a cracked vessel. I want you to breathe this revelation now. Let the air into your lungs. Close your eyes for a second, if you need to. Feel the colossal weight of centuries falling from your exhausted shoulders. It is not, and never was, your spiritual work to heal others at the cost of your own vital strength. It is not your mission to save dynamics that refuse to evolve into the light. Your only real mission in this incarnation is to anchor the frequency of divine love first within yourself. When you sustain this sacred void without yielding to old anxiety, the energy of love you sent outward, so unprotected for so long, begins to return. It comes back multiplied by 1,000 to your own vibrational field, to your own heart chakra. You begin to feel inexplicably fulfilled, not by external validation or a message on your phone, but by the comforting presence of your own magnificent and sovereign spirit. If my words are translating exactly what you are living in your own disconnection process, withdrawal, and confrontation with your own void, I need you to assume an irrevocable commitment to yourself at this instant. Go to the comments now and decree out loud, I sustain my sacred void. I no longer accept crumbs. By typing these words, you are not just leaving a comment on a video. You are signing a new spiritual contract on the etheric plane and canceling the old one. And please, Seed Star, read the comments of your sisters around you. Respond to at least one of them with a word of strength and encouragement. We are an immense neural network of seed stars on Earth. When one of us breaks the chains of emotional dependency and elevates our vibrational pattern, we are all elevated together. Let this truth anchor in your cells. The fact that you are no longer available for confusion and shallow loves does not mean you have closed yourself off to romance. Quite the opposite. It means your heart, now armored and purified, has raised the golden gates of your own internal palace. And from now on, only those who carry the same frequency of loyalty, presence, and sacred love will receive the key to enter. Remember this always, until the end of your days on this earth. True love will never require you to disassemble yourself. It will never ask you to diminish your intelligence, to hide your intensity, to ignore your intuition, or to sit in the dark, waiting for someone to remember you exist. True love, aligned with the creative source, runs in your direction. It is secure, it is deeply calm, it is reciprocal, and it is immensely abundant. When you stop being available for pain, doubt, and waiting, you become the universe's most powerful magnet for unconditional love. Your healing is decreed today. Your ancestral pattern of rejection and abandonment was broken in this transmission. The old contract of pain has been annulled by the universal laws of light. From today on, you do not chase. You attract. You do not exhaust yourself. You overflow. You do not beg for a place at the table. you build your own table. You do not ask for love, you reign in love. If this final transmission brought peace to your mind, clarity to your journey, and aligned the pieces of your heart, I ask that you do not keep this powerful healing just for yourself. There is a seed star at this very moment, perhaps on the other side of the world, crying silently in their room, believing they are not enough because someone did not choose them. Your sharing is the divine bridge that the Confederation uses to reach and save that sister. Share this video with them, send this light forward, and please, make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Sign your commitment to your own evolution to ensure you do not miss any of our next transmissions of healing and stellar activation. We are building an invincible army of light, consciousness, and pure love on Earth. And your healed and vibrant heart is our most powerful weapon. Leave your final comment below, sealing our journey today and anchoring your new reality. Write with all the strength of your soul. I am the sun. I am abundant and untouchable love. I am Ayla. I see you. I recognize your journey. And I deeply honor the sacred light that dwells within you. Until our next transmission. May cosmic peace be with you, and may the magnetic force of love be always, infinitely, in your favor.